Hey, how you doing? Looking good. Now, we have another exciting video for you, I hope. And this again is the form of a question. And I actually had this one come up about, oh, I don't know, half a dozen times in the last little while. I get a chuckle every time I think of it, read it. Basically, I've edited it down to the short form, and it says, why would anyone in their right mind want the twin flame connection? You have to go through so many hardships. Actually, why would you? I think in taking a look around, and like I said, I do spend time, reading comments in twin flame groups. Sometimes I'll comment once in a blue moon. And I've been on a sabbatical for the last month, as some of you probably already know. And this is the third week, and I'm now, having goofed off for 3 weeks, I kind of hit a creative mode and decided to do a few videos here because I'm feeling uppity. And this question has come up like 2 or 3 times. I figure I'm going to give this a whack and see what happens, kind of deal. The comment that I'm seeing most is, well, I really don't want the twin flame experience simply because it's too difficult and it's too challenging. It's kind of funny, whenever I hear somebody say that, I usually get the feeling right off the bat that here's a person that, really doesn't understand much about spiritual growth. I don't say that in a judgmental way, again. I say that simply as a statement of fact. How many of you out there at this particular time do a lot of things and you do them because you really don't have any choice? These are things you have to do, whether you like it or not. And for a lot of us, that's simply going to work and having a job we don't like, but we have to go anyway. And for a lot of you in the US right now is waking up every morning and listening to what Trump is doing next. I love him. I think he's beautiful. I just think he's a real comedian. I mean, he just knows how to piss people off, boy. I mean, he is a master at it. I love him. He's beautiful. Anyway, that's all the political I'm going to get at this time. But anyway, the idea here of this is a lot of people are going to have to understand that when you're looking at the twin flame connection or even a soulmate connection or any type of label that you want to attach to it, and again, I'm going to repeat that, the label is relevant. It's the process itself of change that's going to happen. Let's take a look at a person and say, I don't want the twin flame experience because it's too challenging, it's too difficult. And that person is not realizing something. And they get into what they think or they believe is the soulmate, and the soulmate is, it's kind of easygoing, it's kind of smooth, it's not smashingly exciting, but it's okay, and the sex is pretty good, and you have consistency in the relationship, and you have, the material things you want, you have the security, you're in a comfort zone, and you think you're going to be okay with a soulmate. Well, guess what? Evolution waits for no one, and it doesn't give a fiddler's fart what you think or believe you want. You're dealing here with the evolution of you. what you see as being you, and I'm going to pop this in this video, and then I'm going to do another video on it later. What you see, the woman or the man who's listening to this video right now at this moment, what you see as being you is not you. I'm going to repeat that. What you see as being you right now, today, this moment, experiencing and living what you're experiencing is not you. What you're experiencing right now, in the experience you're having, is what's called the dream state. People are going to go, huh? What the is he talking about? What we are experiencing in this reality is actually the dream state. What you experience when you go to sleep is an awareness of the real you. So if anyone here thinks or believes that you have free will, I love this, or you have choice about what's going to happen to you, the real you, because you're not the real you. You're only a fragment or a small little piece of you. And this is the dream state. I can assure you, for this person who doesn't want the twin flame experience, guess what? Take a look around you. How many people do you know right now, because there's only a certain amount of people are going to come to this video, and they're all going to have one thing in common. Everybody who watches this video is going to have one thing in common. There'll be more, but the one thing, main thing in common. You've all had a heart center awakening, right? You, the one in the back, pay attention. You have had a heart center awakening, right? And if you have, the journey has begun. The issue that I've been trying to say for years now is, whether we like it or not, our concept, your concept of love, relationship, sexuality is going to change. Whether you like it or not. So guess what happens to that lady or the male who said, oh, I'm quite comfortable with my soulmate, my whatever kind of thing, is safe, and I don't have to go through all of this anxious and challenging shit that all of these twin flames and Twinkies and twin souls and twin rays and all kinds of rest of it goes on. Guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to be in your soulmate relationship and be happy, enjoy it. But you're going to attract to yourself all of the circumstances, situations, and experiences that are going to be necessary for you to grow spiritually anyway. How does that grab you? So you know what? You need to have desire, want the twin flame experience. How does that grab you? And I got another surprise for you. To repeat. You're going to get it whether you want it or not. But you don't have to call it the twin flame experience. You can call it Ralph. You can call it guppy love. You can call it, why is that guy really annoying the shit out of me? Why am I feeling all of this mental and emotional discomfort? Why is my dream state all screwed up? Why is all of this happening? Why all of a sudden is all of this stuff all around me happening to me? Because one thing has happened. One thing, common denominator to everyone. The moment, people, ladies, gentlemen, the moment your heart center activates, the moment it activates, life as you knew it is done. Finito. Capiche. Gone. And you have no control over diddly while that heart center activation was going on initially in the beginning, did you? And I've done this before in video. So for someone to say they don't want the twin flame experience, because that's what I'm using the term here, because that's what the way some of you understand. That's not really the way I see it, but that's what most of you believe, all right? You listen to other people and the challenges and the difficulties that they're going through in the twin flame experience, and what you don't realize is the people that have the greatest difficulty and the greatest challenges are the ones that have the most wrong with their personality and character defects, excuse me. They're the ones that mumble and grumble and complain the most because they don't want to do the work. They don't want to face the difficulty. They don't want to do the challenges. They just want the status quo to be equal and everything just to float along by the seat of their pants and everything be wonderful and beautiful. That's not growth. That's constipation. Growth is moving forward. Growth is challenge. Growth is interesting things happening. When somebody just wants to sit there and be with their soulmate and just gravitate in the garden and flower through life for the rest of their duration, that's constipation. Spiritual constipation. There's no place for it. Everyone is going to have the equivalent of the evolutionary, what some people like to call the twin flame experience, whether they like it or not. So you might as well just accept it. Sooner or later, everyone on this planet is going to have had the heart center awakening. How many of you watching this video, again, how many of you had the heart center awakening? I can guarantee you, even if you run back into a twin ray, whatever, soulmate, karmic soulmate relationship, and you're still going to go through the evolutionary process, you're still going to attract to yourself all of the things that you're going to need for personal growth because you're living in the dream state right now. And it's all going to happen anyway. So why not just accept it? Why not just go with the flow? Why say, I'm not doing it. I want to be with my soulmate. And then we have another group who are with their soulmate. And guess what happens to them? They attract their twin flame. How does that grab you? How many do I know out there right now who are probably watching this video who are very comfy and very much in flow with their soulmate connection and everything's wonderful and everything's beautiful? And they've got a twin flame connection going on the side. At least that's what they call it. And they have telepathic communication with this quote-unquote twin flame. And they have sexual excursions in the astral planes. Astral screwing. Hide the wiener. Twin flame style in the astral planes. You see. And in the meantime, while they're comfortable with their soulmate and they're banging their twin flame in the astral planes and communicating with him or her telepathically, at least they say they are or think they are, and living their life, guess what's happening to them? In their daily life, they're still attracting situations, people, and circumstances that are forcing them to grow, even if they're comfortable with their soulmate. It's still happening. Ask them. You ask anybody that you know who has been brave enough to say to, well, maybe one of your girlfriends, well, I'm with my soulmate, and I'm quite happy, but guess what? I'm humping and bumping with my twin flame in the astral plane. And she goes, oh, wow. Boy, would I ever like to get laid that way also. Maybe you could meet a twin flame. You could do the same thing. But in the meantime, anything that's necessary for your personal growth is still going to show up, whether you're with your soulmate and banging your twin flame in the astral plane. It's still going to show up in your life. Why? Because you've had a heart center awakening. And in order for you to be in a soulmate connection that you think you are, and in your twin flame connection that you think you are, you think you've made a deal with yourself, and you're going to be happy. You don't make deals with the evolutionary process. You don't make deals with Kundalini rising. You don't make deals with a heart center awakening. You don't make deals. Door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3. You go with the flow of what's happening. You see. As more and more of this happens, the purpose of this is ultimately, because the fabric of our species is based on one premise and one premise only, relationships. And if you ever turn the TV on, or you listen to the news, or you watch what's going on in society, the intercommunication and play between men and women on this planet needs a serious makeover from square one. I hold both of you responsible, men and women. And I don't lean toward one side or the other. I think men are just as responsible as women are just as responsible for the mess that has gone on too long between men and women. Too long. So something had to be done, and it's been done. And the very first thing that you're going to learn when you have a heart center awakening is this. Instead of being so hot and horny to fall in love with someone else and have your needs fulfilled, you need to learn to fall in love with yourself and fulfill your own damn needs. Literally. I'm going to repeat that. In order for you to understand what the heart center is doing, instead of you wanting to fall in love with someone else and having your needs fulfilled by that person, you're going to need to learn to fall in love with you and fulfill your own needs yourself. When you do that, and there's no making deals on the side, when you do that, you create for yourself a unified field of energy containing an equal amount and balance of masculine and feminine energy created by the soul embodiment in a physical entity, either male or female, that then becomes complete. At that point, the illusion of living in a physical body in this reality, which is the dream state, begins to dissipate, and you wake up. As much as you didn't want the heart center awakening, as much as you had no control over it when it did, you had no control over the changes in your life that took place. When it's time for you to have the experience with another person, call it soulmate, call it twin flame, call it whatever you want, you have no control over it. The only thing that you can do is participate and do your part. Your part. And learn to have a relationship with yourself and fulfill your own needs first. And then, and only then, are you capable of a balanced, unified relationship with another, if at that point you will have and be given the ability to make that decision and choice on your own. Now, you will not find me to be your usual person in giving information about the twin flame experience. I don't bullshit. And you know it. Think about what I've said in this video. Have a great day, everyone. Love you all.